Hello, and welcome. Today I'm going to go back to the sea, and I'm going to be doing another boat painting. This one's a lobster boat. Photos from Rockport, Mass. I'm gonna also do something else a little fun, which is I'm gonna work on top of a wood board, but not haven't gessoed it. So I'm gonna be applying a layer of linseed oil and paint to this, and then working on top of it. It will probably absorb into the wood a little bit more, but there's not really any risk of it not adhering because linseed oil is actually a wood finish too. So yeah, it may act a little bit different, but I wanted to see this. I thought that the sort of golden tones of the wood could actually be sort of beautiful and act a little bit like an underpainting without being an underpainting. So I wanted to try that out. So yeah, it'll be a little bit of an experiment, but you know, I enjoy doing that. So yeah, I hope you'll enjoy it. I'm just gonna get into it, mix up some stuff, and get to painting, and I will share what I'm doing along the way. So now I am going to take this jar that's pretty clean. Pour a little bit of my linseed oil into this. And just a little. It shouldn't take too much. I'm gonna just kind of cover the bottom there. It probably will be more than I need, and then I'm gonna do some of this lavender spike oil into that. I'm considering toning it just a little bit. Maybe put a little bit of burnt sienna into this. We'll see. Okay. Just mix it up with a knife. It's so liquidy that I think if I were to put it directly onto my palette, it would be too liquidy. So let's take a little bit of this burnt sienna to work as a base, and I'm going to just pour a little bit of my mixture on top here. And we'll see where we end up. My plan for this one is to do this almost entirely with, there'll be just knife, except for the very beginning. I'm going to put this on with a brush, just because I don't want it to go on too thick. Let's see how that works. Okay. Yeah, I think that'll be interesting. Okay. Let's see, this brush may have a little bit of white in it, but it occurred to me that it seemed funny to paint them white, only to then make them dark again before painting. So I thought maybe what I'll do is just skip that and see what happens. I saw a really beautiful Sargent painting that was done this way on maple, and I thought it held up the test of time, so this should too. Definitely soaks in a lot more though. So that's something we're learning. I think it's important to try different things though. Like if you wonder about something, if you're like, I wonder if it would work, it's worth finding out. Ultimately, it's just time and a little paint, so I'd rather not wonder and get to 10 years later and be like, what if I had tried that? I regret the things I don't try more than the things I do try. I do think having a wet layer to work on top of makes the whole thing go a bit nicer afterwards. I really could have even done a few colors here, but I've been thinking about putting together a Q&A type video. So if you have some questions for me, you should put them in the comments below here. I may put up another post too, but I'll collect them from a few places probably. Getting there. It's going to be interesting. I'm wondering what it'll be like to paint on top of this now. I just wanted to get kind of a thin wet layer on here now. Cool. Funny. It's like I'm smoothing it out, but then I'm realizing that the variation is actually part of the wood too. So it's a little bit different things going on. So I think sometimes having a lot of different layers, different things happening can be really cool. So we're gonna find out. Okay. This brush out. keep this little scraper at the ready too. I had some ideas for that. Guess I'm in a try everything mood today, I guess. I can't always explain that. I'm gonna start with the background on this one and try to stay clear of the area where my boat will be in the foreground. So I'm going to start with my darkest areas in the background. So seeing a little set of trees and a couple of buildings on the docks here. Yeah, we'll start with them. So I'm going to make a sort of a blue-gray for that. I'll use some phthalo. Why not? And I'll kind of tilt it back though with some cad red and maybe a little burnt sienna too, actually. Probably get some more paints out in a minute, but I'm just gonna start and see where I'm at. That's a fairly good gray for this. Okay. Start blocking some things in. Try and keep this kind of loose. It's actually kind of nice. It's actually like slightly softer to work on top of than the primed board by itself. Take a little bit of white. Bring that gray up a little bit more. I'm thinking about colors, but I'm also just kind of try to feel for how this is gonna work for me. Nice. Here. Go a little warmer. Just put a little yellow ochre in there. I don't want to get overly detailed with these buildings back here. I just want them to exist. But I don't need tons of detail on them either. I like this sort of progression now that's happening. Go slightly warmer. It sort of shifts back here. A couple of these other roofs. Fun to paint with a messy knife though, like this. It just creates a really interesting mix to work on top of. Let's see. More of those trees up here. I'm gonna sort of work into this and then peek the sky in around this line of buildings and trees. As I come across, I'm getting lighter, I'm getting yellower. progression here. Wasn't even really seeing it at first. And then it just sort of occurred to me that that's what was happening. I'm going to start, now that I've got that laid in, I'm going to start working a little bit forward. I'm going to put in the bow. I'm going to start working in some of this green water with reflections on it. Yeah, I'm going to keep trying to stay mostly in the darks for now, though. Just fix this side of this building first. Let's get some more paint out. Do some more phthalo. Some burnt sienna. Using a lot of burnt sienna lately. I don't know. Originally I felt like it was kind of a lazy color. But I've been finding it also really useful, so it's kind of become a staple lately. And the yellow ochre too was initially one that I was, I don't know, just kind of not interested in, but sometimes you want to make something a little bit more yellow, but you don't want it to take over everything. It's a good color for that. And I'm going to need some kind of murky green, like an emerald color. I think I'm going to use a color that I haven't. This is the Phthalo Emerald from Gamblin. I have been wanting to use this color, and I bought it not too long ago, but I'll just sneak it in here next to my Viridian. I've got the Viridian too. I use that a lot. But let's see how Phthalo Emerald does for us. All right. So I'm going to start by grabbing some phthalo. I'm mixing it out a little bit with what's on my knife here. I'll just plop this bow in where I see it for now. Probably comes all the way over to here. I'm going even a little dark on this, but I'm gonna just get it in place to start with, and let's see, this edge here. This perspective's actually pretty dramatic. Kind of cool. so many different shapes and boats and hulls and a little bit of cobalt. Just gonna mix it in just to give me a slightly lighter tone right here. I think if you can go lighter without adding white, sometimes that's a nice thing to do. Keep going. Got a large area to fill in here. And I don't actually need a lot of variation in it, so just gonna plop it in. Probably make some adjustments to it later, but right now, I'm just applying some paint. I'm thinking a lot about different strategies, how to simplify different forms. Like every different thing that you paint has sort of I feel like has a different trick to it, which is something I guess I kind of didn't expect that when I started painting. I feel like with drawing, you can kind of see something and you can draw it, and I don't know, I think because you're working you have like very fine control, you can almost treat everything the same way. But with paint, I feel like you have to be a little bit more strategic. I don't know, like maybe that's just me. Go about there, probably a little low. Yeah, up to there. About the right shape there. Actually got a little reflection here anyway, so it's okay that I put a little blue in. All right. Okay. I need to get some white out for us. Try something a little funny. Grabbed a bit of that linseed and lavender mix. Just try and see what happens if I pop it in some of these shadows here. mix up some of this phthalo in here. I'm actually going to grab a little yellow ochre, it's just a little too dark right now. And I got a little mixed up here. So this. Just sort of working this darkest shaded part of the water here. I love these really saturated dark reflections. I think this is one of those paintings that is better than the photo. I think that it's an okay photo, but it's not amazing at the same time. So I took it, so no insults to the photographer. Mixing two colors in here is working pretty well. I have to get a little bit of white out onto my palette. Try not to rush it though. Let's see. I'm feeling I'm gonna need to lift it up a bit though. Let's see. Shaded area on the traps. So I'm gonna put those in. It's actually a bit. Let's start. And I've got to get the windows on it too. It's right around here. I'm not going to worry about the space in between these windows actually right now. I just kind of block them in one shape, and then I'm going to go over, kind of create the panes with white in a minute. Let's see, I think that's about the right placement though. Alright, cool. Alright, let's get some white paint out. I'm gonna hang this somewhere. It's always getting away from me. Let's see. I don't want to get a lot of anything into my white. Or anything at all into my white that isn't white. A little bit of white in with my colors I was using for the water. I'm working with that a little bit. Seeing a little bit more yellow in here though. I really love peanut water. It's fun. I feel like it's kind of like the right combination of like easy, but also gives you the ability to express a lot. It's just very satisfying to do. And it's calming, like water. It's hard to feel stressed when you're looking at any body of water. I like how these colors are playing off each other. The sienna poking through too. I think I try to keep some of it maybe. I don't know. We'll see. I'm gonna try and texture this a little bit with some of the shaped knives afterward. I'm thinking that might be a nice way to work. Kind of bring some softness in, but still stick to like a knife style. Okay. A little more blue, a little more white. As I'm going back here, I'm seeing more white actually. A gray too. Mix in some of these colors I used on the buildings. Gonna let them start reflecting into the water over here. Even a little bit of kind of a purpley green. Do a little phthalo alizarin gray and see. That's pretty good. It lets me block in the edge of these traps too. Now that I'm going over here. Phthalo. A little bluer. Back here, I've got just kind of like a little maybe breeze catching the water, just causing these little ripples. That's pretty nice. Okay. Just keep looking around all these little transitions, and that it's like so many different things that can be happening. Put a little bit of red into this too, actually. Let's see. Just darken these spots. Going with that. Over on the side, some more of this. Okay, and here we're going a little lighter, a little greener. Kind of an in-between. All right. I'll get the rest of this must be this hole kind of flushed in here. I've got a lighter blue for most of this side. Picking up a little bit of white, knowing that I've got plenty of blue on my knife. I wanted that area to be pretty shiny. I'm going to go back into a little bit of a darker blue here. Smoothing this out just a little. I think I'm gonna probably come back in and put some chunky highlights in later, but it seems a little early for that right now. Would probably be a good spot for some wax later too, just to really pop it up. But just get that stripe on there for now. Getting there. Okay. Got a lot of different whites to work with too here. So I'm gonna just start popping in these window frame bits. About right. It looks a little dark, but I think it's actually right. It's just, it is actually sort of shaded here. Let's see. I can always adjust it later. But better if you get it right. All right. This top has kind of a little round shape. I think what's something I really love about this whole process, getting to share it with you and everything, is like just knowing there's not a rush. It's like easy. It's easy to want to feel like you have to get everything done instantly, and painting helps me get out of that mode. It's better if you take your time usually. I'm even kind of a fast painter, I think. But it's good to not feel the pressure of that either. A little bit of additional gear back here. And boxes, I think. Let's see. It's coming. Coming along. All right. I'm gonna try and get my traps in. And basically I think I'm gonna get this to a point where everything is more or less covered, and that will probably be kind of a good break point for me. It's a little bit, this is kind of intense. Even though I'm not being too careful. It's a little, takes a lot of focus. It's best if I'm kind of fresh. Let's see, some yellow ochre, some white, and maybe a little bit of this cad yellow light as well. Let's try that. I think. A shaky stack. Let's see. I've got another bolt behind this, but I feel like it's also kind of making it hard to see. So I'm gonna actually extend this water and bring it in here and kind of get rid of that extra boat, because it's not gonna make anything look better. So I'll try and guess what the water would look like if that boat wasn't there. kind of a best guess, but I'm thinking that it would come across kind of light the way that it already was, and then probably a dark right in here. Grabbing a little green, grab a little alizarin, a little phthalo. Kind of make my dark faraway watercolor. I'm gonna bring in some more white on top of this roof here, but just kind of want to get the water in behind first. Knife painting, it kind of has a similar, almost has like a nautical feel to it. Like it almost makes me think of all the sort of weathered, sort of rustic wood and stone and other materials here at these docks. Seems like a good fit. Okay, I'm gonna take a little bit more white. Work that in here. I don't really want this blue of the water to mix with the blue of the boat. I feel like that's the kind of thing that I could get confused on, so I'm gonna give that a little breathing room. I think I'm gonna actually bring some wax in along this edge here, which will do a couple things. It'll also help me get a little bit of a boundary there. The paint won't get quite as mixed. And then also I think it can get even brighter with the white. So maybe I'll let that be for now. Trying to figure out what I'm looking at. A little roof area here. I'll just clean out some of this paint so that I have some space to go over in white. If I leave it too thick, I risk it not drying by the next time I want to paint on it, as well as just leaving some kind of unpleasant lumps. So scraping out some of that. Keep building up my windows a little bit too. Drag this down so it's not a hard edge too. Okay. Okay. I like but I think I'm going to leave it here for right now, and I'll be back to finish it up shortly. Alright, and I'm back. I really like how this is coming along so far. I wanna wrap it up, but I don't wanna lose too much of the looseness of it. I think it's got a really good feel. I am gonna work into the sky. As much as I like this orange a lot, I think that it's a little extra right now. So I'm gonna work into the sky. I'm gonna work into some of these highlight areas that aren't drawn in yet. I might mess around with some texture. Probably gonna bring out some wax right away. Yeah, I don't know how long it'll take me to do the rest of it. I think it may wrap up quick. We'll see. Sky. What I want to do is I'm going to keep close to the edges here. I'm going to keep most of this orange, and then I'm going to go a little bit more of a richer blue. I'm going to kind of fade to that. I think that will work well. Let's give it a shot. Might even go a little bit purple. I think that'll set it back a little bit. I don't want it to get too much the same as I've got the blue of the boat and some of the blues in the water, and I want it to obviously relate to it, but not be too much, so we'll see. Grab some white, some wax. Start by just making kind of a base. Grab a little bit of cobalt, if I have any there. I have to get some out. I think it's time to hold this tube a bit. I really like this thing. Takes your paint tube from looking like you're almost out to showing you what you've got. I do feel like since I switched from acrylic to oil, I do go through paint actually much slower. I think it's because the pigments are so much stronger, so even though it seems like you're putting a lot of paint down, it doesn't end up being quite as much. Grab a little of this cobalt and mix that in. I'm going to try and mix up a few of these colors on the palette just to kind of see what I can create for a progression before I put it on the canvas. So I want to go start mixing in a little bit of an orange tone. See what that does. And I want to go maybe even a little yellow. normally do it like this, but I'm actually kind of liking it. Let's see. Try putting a little bit of this in. I'm just gonna light up the sky. The sky, you wouldn't always think it, but the sky is usually the lightest part of a view. Sort of when you look up at the sky, it will look a little bit less bright because your eyes adjust. But when you're taking in a whole view, a bit more of that. I'd adjust some of these shapes, but I'm just trying to kind of work this in. See where it goes. The sky in my reference is just blue, so this is a little bit made up, but I think it's gonna work. I don't even know if I'll get all the way to blue. We'll see. Try a little bit. Maybe up in this corner here. Got kind of a bright area around that building and around those trees. There we go. A little break to turn the heater on and off. Alright, so most of my cuts are just when something I don't expect happens. Alright. Liking that sky. That's gonna work well. I'm gonna go kind of bluer to warmer this way, so since I don't have a lot of sky I'm even working with here. That's gonna work pretty well. There we go. I think that kind of works the orange into a nice way. Let's see. That's feeling pretty good right now. I'm gonna leave it pretty textured, I think. There's not very much of it anyway. I like that. I like that feel of it, kind of glowing there. I'm gonna swap my knives and go back to the boat. Got some sort of strong white areas that I want to take the opportunity to bring out here. So the biggest ones are sort of this roof area. And then this edge here, just start kind of working it in. Hoping I can get this to look fairly clean. It's been a couple days since I originally started this, so most of this paint is pretty well set. So I don't have to worry quite so much about mixing things now, which is nice when you want to get like sharp edges. Just kind of working on getting a nice crisp shape here, and then if I want to take out some of that texture, I can afterward. But first thing is just getting the paint in the right place. Okay. And I've got this little angle here. And this comes out a little bit further. Here I'm getting, it's white, but it's not quite as white as that first edge was. So I'm just shifting a little bit more into this blue. That's actually the blue I had mixed in the sky. So it looks about the right value and about the right color. Sometimes I think it's good to reuse colors. I sometimes do it just out of like, not laziness, but convenience, I guess. But it also gives the painting a little bit more kind of, I don't know, coherency? I don't know. It's a consistency that's kind of nice. Kind of just gently adjusting my angle to try to keep along this edge. I am slightly fighting the texture that I created the other day, but I think it's okay. You know, it kind of gives you that effect of, you know, this boat's probably been painted a few times now, and it might have a few layers on itself anyway. There we go. Okay. It's coming along. Same kind of line on this roof line here. And come across like that. Try to do a nice smooth. Definitely got some texture in here. It's okay, we can fill it in too though. think painting is it's a nice way to learn about stuff too. Just like taking that slow observation approach. You learn about these different pieces here. Let's see. There's a lot of stuff going on top of the roof. Though again, it's kind of mixed in with this other boat that's behind that I'm ignoring. So I don't want to add too much of that. I think I'm gonna just keep it simple. I'm gonna add a little bit of a shape here. As I'm seeing, I've got some ropes I want to add in too. It's a little bit of a mirror white that I just put in the water as well. Pop that in there. Kind of scraping this around. I want these to be kind of like the feeling of little ripples, not huge waves. Even. Let's see. Bring this little knife in. Let's see. It's nice because it gives it a little bit more sort of extra definition. It's actually a bunch of little knives in one. Along. I'll do a little bit, I might do a little bit more with that even. It's kind of back here. This knife's funny, it doesn't work too well to actually put the paint down. It does a good job of adjusting it after the fact. I'm gonna put a little bit more white, sort of a blue white down here, just kind of create this shine on the water. And bring it down and connect it. Maybe adjust it a little this way. A little bit more light that I want to bring in through there. I think I'm gonna bring in some of these sky tones though. Actually, I think that will work well. I'm gonna put some white in too, but I think I was trying to figure out a way to kind of separate these blues. I think that having this little warm yellow area work itself in might actually be a really nice way to do that. Like that. It's funny, I don't don't really have like such a warm sort of background area, but it's for this painting, it's kind of working. A little bit more white now. Let me go over that with a little more blue after, we'll see. Like that. Yeah, like this, how this orange is kind of popping through everything. Try and add these lines that I see. I like all this sort of ropes and sort of functional things going on. So there's kind of a little thing that this is tied off to. Start by adding that in. Like a little loop. It's kind of a pulley maybe actually. So I've got a rope going to here. I've got one that kind of drapes across and comes down. And I've got another one that comes down on this side that's dark. I think that will kind of frame it all in pretty nicely. Let's start. I can actually not mix a lot of wax into this because I feel like it might help it to be a little stringy. I'm going to put a little bit of this thinner and medium into it though. Let's see, could be risky. A little more white. Okay. Gonna get basically one shot to choose where that's gonna go. May tidy that up with a brush. We'll see. I kind of would like to get the line with the knife though. I've been all knife on this so far, so I think I'm gonna commit to it. There we go. That worked out. Okay, that's one. I've got this other dark line, which is right there. I'm trying to get the right thickness of paint on the knife so that I can not make a mess. I think sometimes even though these lines might not be, or like some of the marks won't be as precise as you could do with a brush, I think there's kind of like an earnestness to it that I like. I think it comes from like really trying. There's a look to that can be nice. Alright, I think those look pretty good. It's a little bit little bit of a reflection that each of them have too. Actually, this one's got, it's actually dark in that one. Let's see. And then I've got one other white line that goes across. I'm gonna try and put it in. But I like all these little, like, functional things, even if I don't quite always understand all of them. Okay. That actually goes all the way back here. Pretty good. All right. I'm not going to put the name on the boat, though. I do like the name Risky Business. I'm just not so confident that the text would really make it a lot better, and I don't know if I would make it messy, so I'm going to just not do that. I think I'm going to do a little bit more work in this upper area here, and then I might call it done. Let's see. I'm going to bring in a little alizarin into this mix here, and more of this phthalo. I want to get some kind of more specific lines on a couple of these trees, just to kind of make them feel like they're in the right spot. I like how simple the buildings are. It's tempting to go and put in all the windows and all the little things, but actually this feels a little quieter than the actual place, which to me I think is okay. I like things a little quieter sometimes. Kind of making a little bit of a messy edge here. Like, it's just a lot of orange still coming through here. I think just fading this a little bit more. Just kind of mixing it in. Be nice. So easy to want to over detail everything. I think it's not what this one's meant to be. Seeing some little plants and things that are sitting down here. I don't want a lot of dark edges, a lot of contrast, but I feel like having a little more happening. Just a little crisper. This is like just adjusting the light a little bit. Having it kind of flow through this area a little bit more. I could also call it fussing. Might be fussing. Okay. I'm gonna let that be. Let's see. Am I done? I think this one little highlight here on the side of the boat. Just I'm gonna punch this little color shift slightly. A little bit of reflection there. Yeah, I think I'm gonna let this one be. I hope you've enjoyed it. I think that it, yeah, it's a good, it's one of my favorites I've done lately. Let's see, is there anything else I want to say about it? I'm gonna touch a couple things. It's so easy the longer I sit here. Just there we go. I like that. Okay. Yeah. Well, I hope you've enjoyed this. I'm gonna put the painting up on eBay. I think I've been doing that lately because for a while they were going really, really quick, and I don't think a lot of people were getting a chance to buy them. And I can only make so many, so I wanted to keep it available for a little bit longer. So if you want to jump in and bid on this one, it'll be up. I'll put the link in the description. So yeah, as always, I hope you've enjoyed this. I hope you have a wonderful day or night or whatever you're off to next.